Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new, and welcome back to Bookmas Day 2. Today we're going to be doing my December TBR, all the books that I want to read in the month of December. I'm so excited for this month of reading specifically because I feel like this is one of the coziest months for reading. For me personally, I have quite a few mystery thrillers in this stack. I have some fantasies in this stack, so I'm really excited to hopefully get to all these books before the year is over. Fingers crossed. But before we get into those, I want to really quickly thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Book of the Month. As we all know, I love Book of the Month. I talk about Book of the Month all of the time on my channel, and I am personally subscribed to Book of the Month. If you don't already know, Book of the Month is a monthly book subscription service, and they offer the best prices for new release hardcover fiction. Their mission is to bring the best new fiction forward. So how Book of the Month works is every single month, there are new curated picks that their editorial team chooses by reading through hundreds of new and emerging books and authors. There are new curated book picks every single month, and you can skip any month for free. Book of the Month has already helped me discover so many new books and authors that I otherwise probably wouldn't have discovered on my own. And I can't wait to get bookshelves so I can set up my little collection of Book of the Month books. I love that they're all the same sized hardcovers because they just look very satisfying whenever they're all lined up together. And if you would prefer to listen to your monthly pick, they do also have audiobooks in addition to the hardcovers, so every single month you can choose whether you would like to do the hardcover or the audiobook for that month. And this month when you join, you can get your first book for just $5 with the code TINSEL. And for the holidays, all of the December boxes come with this cute little seasonal sticker sheet. And in addition to that, new members will receive a free gift when they enroll. And that's just while supplies last. They are anticipating the supplies to go quickly. So if you are interested in that, I highly recommend checking that out as soon as possible so you can get your free gift with your box. Now to get into the books that I chose this month, I am so excited for these, especially for the first one, because the first book that I chose was actually on my list of highly anticipated 2025 releases, and I was able to get it early through Book of the Month. It is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I know that you guys have heard me talk about Alice Feeney on my channel before. I love Alice Feeney's writing. I've only ever rated 2 mystery thriller books 5 stars, and one of them was an Alice Feeney book. So I'm very excited to honestly read more of her books. I actually have another one of her books on my December TBR, which I will talk about in just a second as well. This is my first pick. This one actually, I think it doesn't come out until early January, so it's so cool. Sometimes Book of the Month does that where you're able to get a new release early, which I think is just so cool because like now I feel so special because I can read this before it actually comes out. So I'm so excited to read this one. The synopsis for this one says, author Grady Green is having the worst best day of his life. He calls his wife Abby to share some exciting news as she is driving home. He hears Abby slam on the brakes when she sees something in the road ahead. Over Grady's protest, Abby gets out of the car. When he eventually finds her car by the cliff edge, the headlights are on, the driver's door is open, and her phone is still there. But his wife has disappeared. A year later, Grady is still overcome with grief and desperate to know what happened to Abby. He can't sleep, he can't write, so he travels to a tiny remote Scottish island to try to get his life back on track. And then he sees the impossible, a woman who looks exactly like his missing wife. I'm so excited to read this one. I feel like this has such good potential to be another 5-star read for me, and I feel like it's going to be very atmospheric and perfect for the winter. So that is the first one that I picked, and then the next one that I picked is I Might Be in Trouble by Daniel Ailman. First of all, I love the cover of this one. I feel like it's giving comedic mystery thriller. The synopsis for this one says, a few years ago, David Alvarez had it all. A 6-figure book deal, a loving boyfriend, and an exciting writing career. His debut novel was a resounding success, which made the publication of his second book a total flop, all the more devastating. Now, David is single, lonely, and desperately trying to come up with a great idea for his next manuscript, one that will redeem him in the eyes of readers, reviewers, and the entire publishing world, and maybe even his ex-boyfriend. The issue is, good ideas are hard to come by, and the mounting pressure of a near-empty bank account isn't helping. But when David connects with a sexy stranger on a dating app, he figures a wild night out in New York City may be just what he needs to find inspiration. Lucky for him, his date turns out to be handsome, confident, and wealthy, not to mention the perfect distraction from yet another evening staring at a blank screen. After one of the best nights of his life, David wakes up hungover but giddy. only to find Prince Charming dead next to him in bed. Horrified, completely confused, and suddenly faced with the implausible but somehow plausible idea that he may have actually killed his date, David calls the only person that he can trust in a moment of crisis, his literary agent Stacy. Together, David and Stacy must untangle the events of the previous night, cover their tracks, and spin the entire misadventure into David's career-defining novel, if only they can figure out what to do with the body first. It sounds like it's gonna be like a comedic thriller, and I feel like from the cover, after reading the synopsis, the cover like makes so much more sense, and I'm really excited to read this. I tend to like topics that have comedy in them, but doesn't seem like they should. Like Butcher and Blackbird, it's like a serial killer romance. That shouldn't be funny, but I love when it is. So I feel like I will love a funny mystery thriller. So yeah, I'm really excited for both of these. I'm putting both of these on my December TBR. Would like to try and read them this month. I feel like it's the perfect time for mystery thrillers. So if you guys are also interested in joining Book of the Month, make sure to visit bookofthemonth.com to join and get your first book for only $5 with the code TINSEL. Everything that you need will be down in my description box below. I will have the link down there, the code that you need, everything like that. I highly recommend you check them out. I love Book of the Month, and it's such a great deal to take advantage of, especially because you get extra holiday perks this month. It's so fun. So thank you so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video, and let's get on to the rest of my December TBR. Obviously, like I said, the first two books in my December TBR are these mystery thrillers. Keeping on the theme of mystery thrillers, I have The Guest List by Lucy Foley. If you guys watched my 10 Before the End video, this was on that list. I have been saving this one and another one all year for either December or January because I feel like this is just meant to be a winter read. I really don't know why, but sometimes I just look at a book and I get a feeling and I'm like, you are meant to be read in whatever month I'm thinking of. Then I have to like wait. But the issue is that I do that and then I wait all year to read a book and then the month passes and I forget to read the book and I'm like, well, I guess I have to wait until next year. So I'm trying not to do that with this book because I have genuinely been waiting since last December/January to get to these thrillers. So this one is set at a wedding. The back of it just says, an inclusive wedding on a remote Irish island, the bride, the plus one, the best man, the wedding planner, and the bridesmaid. All have a secret, all have a motive, but only one is a murderer. I'm so excited to read this. I've never read a mystery thriller that was like set at a wedding before, and I feel like this is going to be so fun. I feel like I'm going to fly through it and it's just going to be like very entertaining. I also feel like this is just going to be so atmospheric because it's set on an Irish island and there's like a winter storm going on, I'm pretty sure, that like makes the electricity go out at the wedding. So very, very excited for this one. The next two are actually both Book of the Month books, which is so funny. If you can't tell, I literally love Book of the Month. The next one is Someone in the Attic. This one I feel like has the potential to actually be really eerie and creepy. I feel like a lot of times whenever I read mystery thrillers, they're not always necessarily like thrilling. Like they have the mystery for sure. Like we're trying to uncover something, we're trying to figure something out. But a lot of times I'm left wishing that I was more like thrilled, you know, like I want to be nervous about what I'm going to read next and I want my heart to be racing and all that stuff. And I feel like this definitely has the potential for that. The synopsis for this one says, you thought you were home alone. Anya is enjoying a relaxing bath when she hears a noise coming from the ceiling. Through the open bathroom door, she sees the attic hatch swing down and a masked figure drops to the floor. 30 seconds later, Anya is dead. Across town, Anya's old school friend Julia sees an online video of a masked figure climbing out of an attic. She suddenly realizes why the footage is eerily familiar. It was filmed inside her own house in a luxury gated community designed to keep intruders out. Why would a stranger target Julia? Unless, of course, it's not a stranger at all. So I'm so excited to read this one. I feel like if I was brave, I would read this on a day where I was home alone. I don't think I'm brave enough for that, but I do have hopes that this will be very suspenseful and make me a little bit scared. The next one that I have is Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. Once again, I have been looking forward to reading this book for the longest time. I feel like this has come up in so many of my videos over the past year of books that I am looking forward to reading, and I'm so happy that the time has finally come, that the atmosphere is right, the mood is right, the vibes are right, and I'm so excited to get into this one. I've read the synopsis for this one so many times, so we're gonna read it one last time, and hopefully, not hopefully, if I don't get to this book this month, seriously, I need to be arrested because I cannot wait another year to read this book. This one says, after years of avoiding one another, Daisy Darker's entire family is assembling for Nana's 80th birthday party in Nana's crumbling Gothic house on a tiny tidal island. They're finally back together one last time, and when the tide comes in, they'll be cut off from the rest of the world for 8 hours. The family arrives, each of them harboring secrets. And then, at the stroke of midnight, as the storm rages, Nana is found dead. An hour later, the next family member follows. Trapped on an island where someone is killing them one by one, the Darkers must reckon with their present mystery as well as their past secrets before the tide goes out and all is revealed. I feel like this one, honestly, is another one that has potential to be kind of thrilling because it has that same aspect where you're kind of like stuck somewhere and someone's coming after you, but you don't even know who. But you know that like someone is gonna, get got next because it's happening every hour. So very, very, very excited to read this one as well. Those are all the mystery thrillers that I have on my TBR. Like I said, December and January are big like mystery thriller months in my brain. I feel like it just makes sense to me. So yeah, 5 mystery thrillers that I'm hoping to get to this month. We'll see. Mystery thrillers I feel like are such quick and easy reads though that I feel like they just fly by. Like a lot of those I feel like I could read in like 1.5 sittings, The next couple that I have are little romance books. This one I actually just recently got. It is How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. I feel like this one has been like popping off on TikTok recently. I don't really know much about the plot of this, but I keep seeing TikToks saying that like if you like Jim Carrey's The Grinch, that this like the comedy in this, I guess, is like that vibe. And if you know me, I feel like I can't even properly describe how The Grinch is genuinely my entire personality. The way that I quote that movie year round, to the point where my entire family, like I will do things and they'll be like, you are acting like the Grinch right now. I don't know what it is, but since I was a kid, I have been obsessed with that movie. I love that movie. I watch it year round. So whenever I heard people doing that comparison, I was like, okay, I think I need to read this. And specifically, actually recently, I've been seeing people say that the audiobook for this is really, really good and it like makes the comedy even more funny. So I might listen to the audio of this, but I did get the Walmart exclusive version of this because it's pink. I went to look for it and it was sold out in the entire state of Arizona. I don't know like why it sold out so fast or if they were gonna like restock it ever, but I had been looking for weeks and it was out of stock. And then I went to Walmart one day and they just had one sitting there in a random spot. So I took it as my sign to need to purchase this book. And I did, and I'm so excited to read it. I feel like I will love this. It is kind of like really long, I feel like though, for a little Christmas romance though. Hopefully I like it and I don't get irritated by the length of it. I don't know. The next romance that I have, I'm so excited for. This is going to be a new author for me. It is Savor It by Tara Dewitt. I don't know how to say her name, but first of all, the cover, beautiful. The reason that I discovered this author is because I was doing research to see what books were coming out in 2025, and this author has a book coming out in 2025 that I'm so excited to read the synopsis of it. Like, I feel like I'm going to love that book, but I realized that it was part of an interconnected little series, which most romance books are, I feel like. But because I'm so excited for that, I really wanted to read this one. That way, when it comes out, I'm up to date in the interconnected series. Obviously, you can read them as standalones, usually if they're interconnected, but for my brain, I have to read the whole thing. Like I have to read it in order, even if it's can be read standalone. I don't know. It just like, I have to do it. So, yeah, I'm very excited to read this. I just cannot get over the cover. Like every time I look at the cover of this, it's just so cute. So anyway, the synopsis of this says, Sage Bird has learned to love her small world in the coastal town of Spoons, Oregon. With the misfit animals on her hobby farm, her friends and her students to make her smile. But when her ex, town golden boy Ian, suddenly gets engaged, Sage wants a win. Beating him in the Festival of Spoons, the town's annual summer competition, would be a perfect way to show everyone that she's doing just fine. No pity necessary. She just needs a partner. Fisher Lange, I think it's Lange, was a hotshot chef in New York City until the loss of his sister left him grieving and responsible for his teenage niece. After Fisher loses his Michelin star along with his love of cooking, his boss sends him to Spoons for a last chance project to redeem himself. But as his reluctance to get comfortable in a small town causes clashes with the locals, and a kiss with his sunny new neighbor Sage leads to dating rumors, the pair strike a deal to turn things around. Soon their alliance blooms into something unexpected, and while they try to savor every moment, summer is racing by all too quickly. So I'm so excited. Technically, this is set in summer. I don't know. I don't like reading summer books in the summer because I don't like the summer. So I'm trying to escape from the summer in the summer. But if I'm in the winter and I like the winter, then I can read about the summer because I'm not sad that it's summer. I'm happy that it's winter. So my brain is backwards, but it just makes sense. I'm very, very, very excited to read this book. I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up too high because that will definitely end up working against me, but I just really feel like this author and this little interconnected series has the potential to be some of my favorite romance books. I don't know what about it, I just like have that feeling. And also the covers for all the books so far are so cute. So very, very, very excited for that one. And then the last three that I have on my TBR are all fantasies. The first two I'm so sad that I didn't get to in November, but it's okay. It is the Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms tandem read for Throne of Glass. I don't know honestly what I was thinking that I would be able to get through the tandem read as well as other books in the month of November while prepping for Bookmas. I think that was just the ADHD in me over planning, which if you have ADHD, you just know, like that is life, you know, just over plan and constantly be disappointed that you weren't able to do your completely unrealistic plans. That is definitely what I did. So I'm not like, you know, completely upset that I didn't get to it because I understand that it just like wasn't realistic, but I really, really, really want to get through these this month because I would like to read Kingdom of Ash this month. I don't think that's going to happen because I have all of these that I also want to get through as well as the tandem read. So if I can get to Kingdom of Ash in like January or February, I will still be completely happy. I just want to get to the point where I can finish Throne of Glass and then get through Crescent City. Honestly, I would like to get through Crescent City by like the first half of next year. I'm just like on a Sarah J. Maas roll. I've got through almost everything and I just want to keep it going so that I can be completely up to date. And I honestly would love to do an ACOTAR reread, but I feel like I cannot do that until I get through all of her books for the first time. So yeah, hopefully I will get through this soon. As in this month. Lastly, I have Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I really would like to read this by the end of the year because I did start the first couple chapters of this I think it was last January. I'm pretty sure it was last January. I cannot remember. But that means it's been almost an entire year since I tried this one out and so many people love it and rave about it. And so I feel like enough time has passed between when I tried it and I'm ready to try it again. The synopsis of this one says, Ketterdam, a bustling hub of international trade where anything can be had for the right price. And no one knows that better than criminal prodigy Kaz Brucker. Kaz is offered a chance at a deadly heist that could make him rich beyond his wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. A convict with a thirst for revenge, a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, a runaway with a privileged past, a spy known as the Wraith, a heartrender using her magic to survive the slums, and a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. Kaz's crew are the only ones who might stand between the world and destruction if they don't kill each other first. I have heard that this one, like because there's like the 6 people that make up his little crew, I've heard that this one has an amazing like found family type of trope in here, and I have come to learn that I love found family a lot more than I honestly expected I would from just like hearing about the trope. So I'm very excited. I feel like this might be one of those books where if I would have read it a year ago, I wouldn't have liked it, but now I've kind of like grown as a reader. I know my taste a little bit better. So I feel like maybe it was good that I waited because I will, you know, enjoy it and appreciate it more as the type of reader that I am now kind of thing, but I don't know. So with that being said, this is my complete December TBR, all the books that I want to read in the month of December, all the books that I want to get to before the year is over. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss further content from me. And if you want to see the rest of my Bookmas videos for this month or just future bookish content from me as well, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that either. That is all I have for today's Bookmas video. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you tomorrow for another day of Bookmas. Bye!